yo.
Yes, sir. What's up, guys?
Yes. This DJ will kick the floor in 3, 2, 1.
On the troll.
Hello and welcome to Mzansi. We're back again. It is that time of the night where we have to talk about the case. How did it go? And where are we? Obvious. There's always a confusion now and then, and that's where we feature. That's where we come in. That's where we need to clarify on behalf of the states really? Of public opinion.
The state of the court of public opinion.
Yes. Yeah, so nothing much.
Yeah.
But there was something. Now, one thing that I have to say is that indeed, we must congratulate the man who maintained the evidence that he gave, and where necessary, he would admit that yes, there could be a loophole here and there.
Yes.
And yesterday, after we talked, and we said that there could be change. Now, asibongelele Nsizwa umtshali.
Hamjali did a marvelous job.
He did a very good job.
That is how
you testify if you've got nothing. If you've got nothing to hide, you know, if you've got nothing to hide, you just say exactly what you need to say,
yes,
and add more if you have to.
Yes,
you know, nothing, no games, nothing. Straightforward. Ask questions and ask what you want. You know, even Nis today. You know, even Nis today learned that I must ask what I want. If you ask this man to write an affidavit, he will take his sweet time and he will write it exactly the same way he would really write it in real life. So do not ask and have monkey tricks. If you ask what you want, he gives you what you want. I think most of us were happy to see such, for the first time since this case started, such a person who was passionate about their job, gave evidence, scrutinized. You know, at some point when Mshololo came, he did ask some questions, and I think she got what she wanted, but I felt that she at some point she would like to actually push more to throw this man under the bus. There's nothing. There's no need for that. I felt like there's no need for that. There were people who you could have done this to. You know, there were people who were showing being stubborn and all that.
Aggressiveness.
This guy was never aggressive. This guy, he was fun. He's got,
wasn't a hostile
not a
witness.
hostile witness. You don't need to, to prove a point.
No,
you
just
know,
ask your question.
He's not weak.
And get your answer.
He's not weak.
Yes.
He knows what he wants. He knows what he's there for.
Yes.
And the answers are clear.
Very clear.
Ask the question, get an answer. This is now where I would say, okay, if there was any interference there, I would accept that, because this is a witness that deserves respect. You know, it gives you what you want. You don't need to probe and probe such that now you want to throw this man under the bus and show that he's incompetent. No, you don't need. There was no need for such line of questioning. But there were questions that Mshololo asked that I think she got the answers that she wanted.
Yeah.
You know, to round the circle and now try to change things and make it about the competence of the it was not necessary.
Nah.
You must understand, when someone is testifying, you must see a person who's against you. And like, for example, when Nesi was questioning Mhlahlo,
Yeah.
I would not have faulted him for being hostile in his questioning, because that's what Mhlahlo was giving.
Yeah.
So Mhlahlo deserve anything and more.
I saw someone comment and say, Somnis is nice to nice people and mean to mean people.
Do you understand? That's how you play. That's how you play. If there's if there's no need to throw that person, you got, okay, do you admit that there could have been a tampering and whatnot? Yes. Indeed, I do not check the gun when it comes back. I do not check if it's still the same gun with the same serial number. No, I don't do that. We don't do that. All we know is that evidence is back in. That's it. That's what we check. A guy is giving you an honest answer. He's not trying to protect his job and whatnot. Clear answer. You don't need to say, do you see that now we are not competent because you don't check the serial number? No. No, you don't do that. If someone is if someone is giving you what you want, take that. It strengthens your argument, and take it to your arguments. It's not like this man is hiding something. He was telling you everything you want. Where he didn't know, he maintained the fact that the serial number on the gun was not there until the end.
Until the very end. And I also appreciate Nxumalo for sitting this one out as well.
Do you understand?
I feel like he got a lot of information.
Yes.
So he's good. He's sorted.
Yes. For his argument, it's strong. Nothing much. Do you understand?
The details that he needed to argue, definitely.
They're there. Because this guy was oversharing, and without any conflict.
And I was kind of worried, and I also heard our previous caller yesterday talking about how police will not throw each other under the bus. And he did not do that. He just explained his job. He threw no one under the bus.
Whoever said something that was not right or untoward to this case, that person threw himself under the bus.
Yeah.
This guy explained the procedure.
This is how we do things.
This is how we do things. We don't sit with opened exhibits.
Yes.
And then that's where now you'll see from re-examining from Malloy. Do you know if when my learned colleague was talking about open exhibit, he was talking about the open exhibit where it's unsealed, or maybe the paper was transparent. So that kind of openness. I mean, honestly, that's you don't make sense. There is no such. If something is transparent now, it's open.
No.
So if that thing that is sealed there, that paper that you were showing, I mean, if it's transparent, so I can say it's open.
No.
Even if it's sealed.
It's sealed.
Man.
We can't say it's
Did
open.
you hear that re-examining?
I heard it.
Where he was like talking about maybe talking
he
about
was
it.
trying to hide it.
No. The guy said,
slackery.
you said it was open.
But Laura, he wants him to say that it was open. Or he saw that it was open, but Charlie didn't budge.
Or he wanted to say that when the exhibit is transparent, we say it's open if it's transparent. Open, transparent. Simple. You cannot confuse. It's clear.
See-through
does not mean that it's open.
I can have a glass door. You can be able to see what's happening inside.
But it's not open. Close.
It's not open.
It's
not the same thing.
Hey, what? Start fishing in the bathroom.
Hi guys, welcome back to the Mzansi Reality YouTube channel. So proceedings were delayed this morning about an hour, and apparently it was because transport for accused number 4 and 5 was running late. So Baloyi started by apologizing for the late start as a result of a car breakdown transporting accused 4 and 5. They had to wait for a replacement vehicle. Captain Bonginkosi Mchali was said to be cross-examined, and yesterday he had testified that the gun allegedly found in possession of accused number 3 was meant to be destroyed, and an instruction was given in 2017 but was delayed due to process. And Mjali further testified that it could have taken up to 3 years for a firearm to be destroyed due to paperwork, and the gun didn't have a serial number. So Ramasipili started with his cross-examination today, and he started off by asking, yesterday you gave us a very informative analysis of SAP 13 and how it works. What is the necessity to maintain chain of custody, in particular to firearms and firearm-related objects? And Charlie said, as a commander of the evidence store, you are entrusted with the responsibility to ensure that the exhibits stored in there should be protected and kept safe. Because there comes a time like these where it has to be evidence, so it must not be disturbed. Then Ramosipile asked, police personnel you deal with, do they directly come pick up the firearms from the store, or are the firearms sent to ballistics? And Mjali said, I do not have direct interaction with them. So Ramosipile asked, you say this firearm was booked at the CSC at the 10th of February. It was not transferred to the SAP 13 and the transfer register. And Mjali said, yes, it is so. Ramosipile asked, you say it was booked by Mr. Mangena on the 27th of July 2020. And Mjali said, yes, it is so. Ramosipile asked, were you present when he returned it? And Mjali said, yes. Let me take you back. Let me take you back, Mjali Geloy. It was taken from me on the 20th by Colonel Mangena. I was there, and it was taken to ballistics by Colonel Mangena. 7 days later, he brought it back to me. So Ramosipile asked, on the 20th of July 2020, Colonel Mangena, or Colonel Mangena, booked the firearm out. And it's related evidence. Is that procedural? And Mjali said, let me just explain it. I only learn now that Mangena is a ballistics person. When it comes to me to book the firearm, my procedure, he is an investigation officer. He wants the item to go to ballistics. I don't inquire about the profile. So if you work at a mountain of horses, he gave an example that he doesn't ask whether you go and work at a mountain of horses or what, of the person. So if you want your exhibit, I just give you your exhibit. You sign for it and leave. That is how the procedure is. So they don't ask each other, you are taking this exhibit. Who are you? Where are you coming from? The station. They don't ask none of those details.
And I was satisfied by the explanation. What do? You leave your tag, right? Mm-hmm. Which is one thing that they can identify you with.
Yeah. And there's a form. It
Yes.
later on it reveals that there's a form.
One, that thing says that you are a police.
Yes.
That thing says that you work there, you can be traced.
Yes.
And then from there, all the nitty-gritties, I mean, at the end, you are called a clerk. You know what a clerk of is reduced to they don't normally ask like nitty-gritties.
Yes.
They don't scrutinize unless they are entitled. I mean, obviously, there are those who work for their father's companies. They ask everything. They become CEOs and whatnot. But all I'm trying to say is that, I mean, in our black environment, you'd rarely get such questions. As long as your employee number is accepted, then that information is kept in case something happened to that whatever that you needed to use. That's it.
Yes, most definitely. So Ramosipile asked, yes, but my question is that procedural? Is that procedural for a ballistic expert to come and select exhibits directly from the SAP store like himself? And Mjali said, I won't lie on the question that he is asking. I won't say it's procedural or it's not. But what I can explain to you is that even photographers, when they come back from a scene and have collected exhibits from that scene, they go straight to the ballistics without passing through the SAP store from the crime scene. So on the very same day that Colonel Mangena returned the same evidence, the firearm, the Colonel Brigadier Gininda comes and collects the same items and books them out. And your entry is that they are booked out for head office. Is that correct? Asking Ramosipile. Then Mjali said, yes, they arrived together, Colonel Gininda.
It is worrisome,
and
though.
Mangena.
It is worrisome, Emil, that a ballistic person who's supposed to receive, like the same as this guy, Mjal. Can you imagine Mjal going around looking for a gun in someone's house to bring in that storeroom?
Or
Do you
any
understand?
other police station.
Do you
to
understand?
bring in that
Storeroom? No.
They have to be delivered.
It had to be delivered to him to say, you need to store this gun. And then, same as the ballistic person, their job is to wait for someone who's investigating to say, here is a gun, please test this gun. I need to know what and what and what. You know, they give you maybe that background. Why, as a ballistic person, are you going to come and take,
going around police stations,
you know,
and
going to
collecting
sign
reports.
registers and all that, such that when he's probed about this question of whether this thing has ever happened in his entire life of working as a clerk, it has only happened twice. And that actually prompted him, and it's recently. And it will be very interesting because unfortunately we cannot see that. It will be very interesting to probe on this that other existing case that he says now he's actually, because of that, he went now to testify on that other case. Who is in charge of that case? Is it the same person that is in charge of this one?
It would be interesting to know.
Because I was wondering, I was hoping that he could just say the very same, because it sounded like he wanted to say something like that. That actually there is another case that this person is in charge of, and I'm testifying. It's still ongoing because of the very same reason. This person came to fetch. You know, it sounds like that seems like a pattern. This seems like someone works like that.
You'd expect a ballistic to be stationed at the ballistic lab, right? Not be walking around police stations.
Why are you gonna be walking around? Why are you gonna be walking around? Your job is to deal with science stuff and yeah.
So that you run tests on them.
And if there is no gun that is coming through, you don't need to go and take those 500 that you were saying that were there when he came in. Imagine.
No, they wait for
and specifically,
date
why are you
that.
gonna go fetch that specific part of gun out of 200 or maybe 300 or even 400 guns that are there? Why that one?
Then Jali said, yes, they arrived together. Not that one was after the other. Mangena came back returning the firearm and he was with Brigadier Gininda. Then we received it. It did not even enter the store. When Mangena returned it, it did not even enter the safe. He signed that he brought it back. The next procedure was for it to be booked out and leave again, with a signature by Colonel Gininda booked out for Foslera's case 636-10 of 2014. 8 went for safekeeping. So Ramasipili asked, you just anticipated my next question, which was the reason for the booking. Even if it's booked for 636, you are still the custodian of that firearm because it's still a Cleveland SAP 13 number that regulates the movement of that firearm to the to and from ballistics or head office. But it still needs to come back to you eventually, correct? And Mchali said, let me try and explain this now. If I remember well, this gun is from the Cleveland case for illegal possession of a firearm. And that case was closed until there was even an instruction to destroy the firearm. Now this gun is booked out with a new case, which is not related to the Cleveland one. Because the Cleveland case is finalized. So Colonel Gininda took for the gun for safekeeping because he said it was now linked to the Foslera's case after investigations. He removed it from us. We must remember that there was an instruction for it to be destroyed, and it was on that list of the 500 of firearms that needed to be destroyed. And now I have destroyed close to 300, and I'm left with 148 of 150, and we are people who make errors and make mistakes, and if it remained there, it could now have mistakenly been destroyed while there was an instruction for it not to be destroyed. So since he's my senior, I saw nothing wrong with him taking it here at head office for safekeeping. So Ramasipili asked, how do you finally clear this firearm from SAP register so that it can't come back to you and say that Captain Mjali, where is the firearm? Although he says, I know Colonel Gininda has booked out for a different case, but in your registers, how do you finally clear it so that nobody comes back to you to account for that? And Mjali said, just like I said, originality of this firearm is the Cleveland case. So now the firearm is linked to the Foslera's case. So as he was taking it, Ubabu Gininda is safeguarding it. On the day of this case of 636 is finalized, then Gininda will return it and put an instruction that now the firearm can be destroyed.
Clearly saying that the register of these guns that are kept here still remains theirs wherever they stored these guns. And indeed, truly speaking, these guns, they go out during the cases. You don't need to follow them where they are going now and sit there and watch them. As long as there's someone who's working there, who's got credentials within the SAPS, that person can take that gun, go with that gun, do whatever they need to do with that gun, bring it back. The loophole here, obvious, that we saw in the system is that there is no checking of that gun whether it's still the same gun.
Yeah.
Which, without any doubt, the defense proved that indeed there could be change of this gun. If that is the case, I would agree, and I agree even now. I agree that it is that case. If the case happens like that, you guys are saying that what you are saying or accusing these people of could be a true theory to entertain. So that gives something in a judge's mind to whether think of that as a possibility or not. But I don't think that the judge is actually thinking about that. And I'll tell you why. Towards the end, this man is asking a very disturbing question.
The question about the ammunition and
how many ammunition they brought back.
I'll get to that. So now it will mean that the gun is done on this case and there's no longer a need for it. So when an audit and inspection is done, this gun is still counted in his storeroom, and it's just that it is booked out for a while. Okay. So Charlie today, he really made me a bit nervous, but then he did a great job. I was kind of worried that because he sounded very protective of his fellow police officers, didn't he?
No, not to me. He didn't.
Not to you.
He didn't sound like someone who was fearing anything. Clearly saying that what I did to give it to Brigadier Kinindi, I would do it again. I saw nothing wrong with it because it happens.
Okay.
So that for me was enough.
All right. So Ramasipili asked the witness if he was aware of the unit called Flash, which is the firearms, liquor, and second-hand goods, where firearms are destroyed according to the Act of Firearms Control Act 60 of 2000. And Mchali said for the police, it is also another one called the National Instruction Aid of 2017 at the SAPS. So they must be first cleared to see if there's any other crimes that they are related to these firearms. So they must go for an IBIS, Integrated Ballistic Investigation System Comparison, an IBIS. And they are given a specific serial number once they are cleared. So Mjali said that there is a slight difference. FSL is more deeper than IBIS. Ramosepeli said, in terms of Section 149 of the Firearms Control Act, It says that according to procedure, once an instruction has been issued, the gun must be destroyed within 6 months, and that can only be suspended by an appeal process. So the witness said he was not aware of that.
Completely honest, as someone is saying here, he would most of the time when there is loopholes, he would say, truth be told. You know, this is someone who's, I was not aware. I was not aware of that. And maybe you South Africans should now look at this thing differently and say, our brothers and sisters are arrested and evidence now and then is claimed to be planted.
Just like
and
that.
These are the same things that would happen. Now we are seeing something that could happen. We're not saying this thing was planted, but there is that possibility that we cannot sleep on. And you can see how you are given nitty-gritties of how that takes place.
So the fact that there's another law in the legal fraternity that says you have to wait 6 months for an appeal makes you wonder why after 6 months, if no one has come to claim it, it must be destroyed, not wait any moment longer.
Look, there are two ways you can look at this thing. First, you can look at this thing by saying that we have cases that today look mysterious, where someone never owned even a toy, but that person serving years
For shooting
someone
Ending
with a
someone's
mysterious
life.
gun. That is a negative side of keeping it for even longer than that 6 months, because it can be recycled. You know, it is tempting sometimes for these people whom we trust to apprehend law to come with such guns, and depending on why you guys fought, they plant it there, right? So another thing is, if you early destroy these guns within that 6 months, it can actually destroy crucial evidence that is still going to be linked to some cases back. But one then can argue that there should be like blood. I mean, I believe there is a way that they can keep that information of that gun and be able to link anything else that is still left behind, even when the gun is destroyed. You know, like DNA.
Yes.
You know, same way
The
can be used.
residue.
Yes, same things can be used to say that, okay, there is a cold case so and so. Like, let us run everything against that guy. To destroy it, you destroy it after doing that, right? Yes. So I still
DNA details are in a database safely kept there for cold cases in particular. So that would be very, very nice if that could happen. But this is South Africa.
So this one is showing you that if indeed this guy was a guy who did all these things, and that guy could have actually
There's no shadow
dodged
of
the
doubt.
bullet if that was the case. But
Because I could even imagine you are a police officer and you've been trying to catch this person. You know that maybe they are, I'm going to make an example out of maybe a serial killer or something like that. So you know that, no, this person is the one. There's that temptation of wanting to nail them, right? And what are you capable of in such circumstances?
when you realize that these people are outclassing you in terms of thinking, you start resorting into things that are unlawful. You start now wanting to do things that will actually get you ahead of that person. It is normal of people
just
to
wanna
actually
see them
do
in
that.
jail.
Because you know in your head, you are convinced that actually this person, even if I was to plant this thing, in fact, he deserves it, because I mean, I know
won't
for
even
sure
feel
that he does.
remorse.
I
You
cannot
won't feel
just,
sorry.
yeah.
You know that I have been chasing this person.
Do you understand? Yes.
And I know for a fact that they did it, but I can't, There's no telling. I'm just saying. I'm not saying that that's what the police are doing, but I'm imagining or putting myself in those kind of shoes where I know somebody did something, and there's that thin line of I'm tired of this chase.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, it's neither here or there. I will leave it at that. Ramusipele asked if the firearm was taken for the etching, whereby an attempt was made to recover the serial number, but that failed. And Mjali said, with the Cleveland case. So this was very interesting, you guys. With the Cleveland case, it was taken for etching, and they couldn't retrieve the serial number.
Yes.
Now, Masondo and Brigadier Gininda must come and explain how that gun is linked actually to this case. Because if it was done with the Cleveland case, can etching process be done multiple times? And for the second time,
maybe the judge should be the one to answer that, because she came with that. He came with that narrative of etching and what the process, explaining the physics behind it.
Because there is an element of investigation that they have said to have done, so they need to come and explain to the court and the rest of South Africa as to how they miraculously found this serial number. After the etching process with the Cleveland case, it failed.
You see now why it is dangerous to speak out of context. Who speak out of context? I'll say the people who came to testify in a Cleveland case, in this case about the Cleveland issue. I know that they wanted to link the gun to this case, you know. They wanted to say this is where they give a background of where it started. Do you understand? And that's procedural. That's what they need to do to demonstrate where it started and why this case is actually before the court. That is what Baloyi could argue that he was doing. But the problem with that is that those people who testify there, believe you me, they might be found wondering on how they obtained the gun, but they spoke the truth. Do you understand?
How so?
Because they did say, I tested that gun. I did not find anything. But in terms of how they actually got this guy and arrested this guy, there they were found wandering. And that is a different issue now. That's an issue of Cleveland case itself. You know, that's something else that you can proceed, that you can probe, but on a different court, not on this one. On that one, what they needed to say is that we tested this, and that was it. The
number was 123123.
Yes.
And then that is why this is linked to this case.
Do you understand?
After Masondo and Gininda tested the gun again, they found the serial number to be the same serial number. And that's what I was expecting. For those of you guys who are wondering.
So they ended up testifying about how they caught the guy, which is also okay because they needed to narrate why is a guy who's on custody already now attending a new case.
So now we still are stuck as to understanding how is this firearm linked.
But instead they sounded they were the line of questioning made them to sound like they're testifying about the events that happened
with the Cleveland case.
With case of Vosloorus. They sounded like they are testifying for Vosloorus.
Yeah, but we didn't fall for that.
Yeah, we obviously pointed it out.
Still is the Cleveland case. I didn't want to let go of that.
But it's not them, again. It's not them. I think so many times the state has demonstrated how they tend to not cross-examine but lead in their line of questioning. And that is also wrong on its own, because that is seeking now to actually validate certain things instead of showing the truth.
But so far, nothing concrete, hey?
Nothing concrete.
Nothing really much solid. I was very surprised. So Advocate Charles Mnisi started with his cross-examination. Now, he started by thanking Charlie for the information he provided yesterday. He said it was really enlightening. Mnisi asked, in your testimony, you said you wouldn't accept an exhibit which is not properly sealed. And Mchali said that's true. If I go to the charge office and I find that tampering has taken place, I'm not going to take that back. So Mnisi asked, why wouldn't you do that? What are your fears? And Mchali said, precisely because based on his experience, he would need to explain in a court if there was any tampering. And even at ballistics, they are not going to take it if the seal bag is not sealed correctly. This is very interesting, you guys, because Abo Mhlahlo bona things are different. I'm wondering about the regulations of the forensic lab. Did those exhibits even reach the forensic lab? The lab itself, because here hearing that ballistics, if there's something wrong, the seal bag is not even sealed correctly, they return it. So we'd like to know for forensic labs how it works when now an exhibit is put inside a brown envelope and then sealed. What do? Do they work with it still, or do they return it? Now I want to know the answer to that question.
The question would be, do they understand how to preserve, how to avoid contamination from whatever that they are collecting on the scene? And that would be a long essay that you probably get
they probably don't.
Madoda score from it.
They are using brown envelopes from their office.
Do you understand? Yes, those are the things that you have to think when you think about the forensic side of things. But not all of them, because I've had conversation with people who work for forensic side.
Yeah.
And then they said that thing is actually so wrong.
It's out of order.
It's out of order. That is validated though in court, and without any expert. That's an issue with the so-called experts. Without anyone to counter such arguments, it becomes the truth of the day. So and you could actually be arrested for that. If we arrested using the same information that is actually wrong but made to sound like it's true.
And listen to this, at the ballistic, they don't take the firearm inside a brown envelope inside a forensic bag. The firearm is inside the forensic bag as is.
I wish they could just ask such questions, directly. Like, would you take a gun that is within
a brown
envelope?
Hamina. I'm Betty. I would have brought that question up randomly.
That is killing two birds with one stone.
Masondo must be the one to be asked that question, as well as a person who's an expert who works in the ballistic lab and who does the actual testing of the firearms. They need another ballistic expert, not just Masondo. So he said, even I don't want to close it. I don't want it close to me. This is Mjali now saying that if it's not sealed correctly, even I don't want it close to me.
Because it's pointless to take it, because the ballistic people will refuse it. So that means you'll have to keep it in that storeroom forever.
And when the case goes to trial, you find yourself in court now testifying. You have to explain such things. So he says he's not going to take it without it being fixed. So Mnisi asked, prior to being a commander, you started down there taking statements from witnesses, and you'd sometimes give your affidavits to give your own explanation of what you had seen and etc. And Jali said, it is still happening now. If I had to write a statement and open a docket at CSC, then I'd do so. And Mnisi said, very briefly.
Wrong answer to a wrong person. This is a very narrative person. This person will narrate and you would have to wait for like 30 minutes.
This question went left. Very briefly. would you explain how you go about penning your statement and your own statement? And Mjali asked Mnisi to elaborate and give him a case scenario, perhaps. Now, the scenario that Mnisi gave was like, as a head of the CSC, somebody brings in an exhibit which is in an evidence bag, which is not properly sealed, or the seal has been tampered with. Now you report to your seniors, then the seniors ask for a statement from you. Mjali started, let's correct this mistake. I'll speak for the police. Many times when you go arrest a person, I'll be honest with you, you'd find that the forensic bag is not inside the vehicle. And when you find a person, you search that person, you find the firearm. The truth is you'll be left with nothing to do but to take this firearm and the person, bring the person with the firearm to the police station. And when you arrive at the police station, you want to open a docket and arrest this person. That's when you then write a statement as the arresting officer. Okay, so he said to Mnis, he killed me when he said, you said briefly, angithi Mhlekazi. Guys, did I not die? I'm like, there's more.
I knew something's coming. I was like, and Mnis also realized that his face changed. He was like, I shouldn't have said that.
There's more. And Mjali explained the process of how he would follow in writing the statement, and then he stops, and then he would follow. He explained everything. I couldn't even put it together. I was like, this I've heard before.
He explained, even brought the issue of the register, how it come in during that process of capturing information, and then after sealing and asking your commander and getting the seal back, and then you get that number of what do you call it, the forensic bag.
Yes.
And then you put it down on your statement. You see, the process was too long.
It was too long. And he said before writing the statement, you go to the relief commander, you ask for a forensic bag. Now you are done with your statement, but it is not completely done. Maybe the fourth or the fifth paragraph. And then Mnis is like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And then the judge is like, let the witness go on, please. You invited that. Bring a statement now. He's going on about it. You brought the statement, biting the statement. That's what he said. Biting the statement. Now he's going about it. And I was like, oh, Judge, you forgot the 1924 case again. You only mention it when it's the state that makes a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
Why couldn't you give him grace? Upeti, urata, ay.
Is he petty though, or
I feel like he is.
Is it pettiness, or are you fishing for something to bury the defense?
You think so?
Because he thought in that explaining there might be something that could actually. And I always feel like he does that when he feels that there's something that is gonna go against. Even in the issue of you made that bet. You lie in it. It came because there was at the time, that moment, there was a moment of glory that was happening around that time where the case of Cleveland was opening up, and he kind of enjoyed that part, but it came back to bite again. And that's when now it changes the face. It becomes grumpy.
Then Mosia said, okay, go on. Mjali continued. Before I close my statement, the last paragraph is where I go to SAP 13 and hand in the exhibit, fill in the SAP 13 and ask for a forensic bag. He went on and on explaining what he does, and Mnisi patiently waited for him to finish. Yeah, Mjali said yes. To making a statement of him interacting with Masondo and Gininda from the 20th of July 2020 up until the 27th of July 2020. So this is the next section after the whole explanation. Mr. Masondo confirmed in court, this is Mnisi, telling Mtshali that Mr. Masondo confirmed in court that the firearm is a CZ75 9mm, and he considered that there are so many firearms of this kind, just like the 9mm parabellum used by the police. And Mtshali said that was said by Masondo. It sounded like he was shocked. And Mnisi said, from your experience...
no, he was not shocked. Actually, he was asking, are you saying that is what Masondo said? He needed to clarify if that is a question now that is actually pointing at him. Do you have a comment on that, or do you disagree that there are many guns like that? And after rephrasing, obviously, he came with an answer.
So he said, from your experience, Mtshali confirmed that there is a lot of these CZ799mm pistols that come in and go as exhibits. And Masondo confirmed that the gun was taken to recover the serial number through an etching process, and it was retrieved. Mtshali said, it's Masondo who said that. I can't speak on behalf of Masondo. Yeah, ne? Mnisi then said, he also said... Guys, Masondo is the police officer. I think, is it the one? No, Masondo is the ballistics expert. So he's saying, he also said the owner was traced and it belonged to a security company, the Fidelity Security Company. And Mtshali said, if that's what he says, then it means that he knows what he's doing.
But I just heard that today.
Masondo is the one who took the firearm for the etching process and found the number and the owner of the firearm. So Mtshali said he could hear that and he is only hearing it today. Mtshali said that in 2015, when the firearm went out, you did not sign for it, but now there is a new implementation, a new form. It's called a temporary receipt form that both of you need to sign. And on the 20th of July 2020, when Mangena came to fetch the firearm, he was there and gave him the exhibit. Mnisi then asked, when Mangena took the gun on the 20th of July 2020, did you sign? And Mtshali said no. The judge said Mnisi should let the witness explain what he wanted to explain. The other day, you gave me some lecture on what the witness is not allowed to choose and choose. Now this one selects or chooses to explain. Let him do so.
Again, now the guy trying to distract, for me, this whole proceeding on how the questions are asked and disturbing the defense. But I liked how Mnisi in this one stood his ground, because he's applying the same thing as if it's the same mistake. But in this case, the mistake is that Mtshali is answering a different question. So in this case, it's not Mnisi's fault that Mtshali is answering a different question. And it is up to Mnisi to give Mtshali that chance of answering that wrong question, and then come back to, now, thank you for that more information. Maybe there's a question that might emanate from that. Then come back. Let me ask you again. This is the question that I'm asking. Is it the yes or no type of a question, open-ended question, or just it requires you to define more, give me more? So this case, Mnisi was right to say no, I'm not asking that question, and the question that is being answered here is totally different from what I'm asking.
Well, Mnisi rephrased the question and asked him why, and Mtshali said that gun was not with him for more than 5 minutes under his care. Mnisi repeated the question slowly this time, and Mtshali said, we normally don't sign. We just say the gun was taken by so and so. That person who took it is the one who is responsible for that item. That's why the procedure has now been changed to say that we must sign a temporary receipt to avoid such situations. Mnisi then asked, so you are saying only the person who was receiving the firearm was expected to sign? And Mtshali said, no, let's correct that. As an SAP 13 personnel, there's no need for me to book out a firearm. The responsible investigative officer is the one who has to come and book out the gun. and he's the one who has to sign for it, so that if it goes missing, he should answer for it. That is the reason why I shouldn't sign the book out.
Acceptable answer.
Mnisi, reading from Jali's statement, it said, and I quote, on Monday, the 27th of July, 2020, at about 14:45, I was on duty at my office. I was approached by Colonel Gininda from the National Head Office, Cold Case Unit. So Colonel Gininda asked me to book out exhibit SAP 1386/2015 of Phosphorus case 63610 of 2014. The items were sealed in a forensic bag number, which is PA 40044043332, which contained a firearm and an empty magazine. I am confirming that the said exhibits were not tampered with while they were under my care. Mr. Ginindi was also provided with the copies of the SAP 13, and it went on and on. And Mnisi said, do you confirm that also in your statement, you don't mention that on the 20th of July 2020, Mr. Mangena came to fetch this gun? And Mjali said, yes, I can see. Is there a question? Mnisi said, no, I'm only bringing it to your attention. So on that statement, Mr. Mangena's name is not there. Mjali confirmed that he never deals with open forensic bags. He always makes sure that they're properly sealed. It's something he's testified many a times in the court, right? So Mnisi asked, Mr. Mangena has also made a statement explaining how he got hold of the firearm. And this is what he's going to say. In an affidavit he wrote on the 12th of August 2020, he will come and say that on Monday, the 20th of July 2020, he booked out a firearm and ammunition from SAP 1386 of 2015. The said exhibits were received in an open exhibit bag. Open exhibit bag, and were booked out for case 63610 of 2014. Open exhibit bag.
When they were booked out?
I bala ku statement.
When 2020. Now, yeah, I see the open issue, which I think in this case he meant that it was unsealed.
So Mnisi asked, is it correct that in your statement you don't say he came on the 20th of July 2020? And Mjali said, yes, I didn't mention it. Mnisi also asked, you also don't mention that the exhibit that he came to fetch was not sealed. And Mjali said, yes, I didn't say it. And Mnisi then asked, Mangena also doesn't say in his statement that he received those exhibits from you. And Mjali said, that's correct, he doesn't say so. And Mnisi asked, there exists the likelihood that the firearm Mr. Mangena received on the 20th of July 2020 might not have been the same firearm that was brought to the Cleveland police station by Mr. Masondo in 2015. And Mjali said he had no comment.
Okay. So, Emil, tell me, again, maybe I wrote wrong here. Why did Mangena book that gun out? Was it for Cleveland case?
Yes.
On 2020?
Yes. And then
it doesn't make
back.
sense. He must be.
And then he returned. When he returned with Gininda, now it's booked out for 6
Yes, that guy needs to answer. Why did you say that he booked that? Because that case was closed. That gun, such that, I mean, is it a Cleveland case that this thing was closed on, or, yeah?
It was meant to be destroyed.
Forfeited
and destroyed.
Yes. Then why are you booking it out again?
He needs to explain that.
He needs to explain that part. It doesn't make sense. And you are claiming it's not case 636. It's a Cleveland case. Why?
He needs to come and explain that.
In a gun,
Cleveland
from a
case
gun
that
that could be. How did you even know that it's still available, that gun? Because there was even things that were there was such instruction to destroy. How did you know that it was still available?
How did he know?
Because it's not like they report to ballistic people that we are destroying this gun now, right?
Yes.
How did he know?
And why
Different
does
departments.
he say that when he collected it, it was open?
You know?
Why? What was the point of
saying open and using such words as open and open, which leave a lot to be desired. I mean, it's a word that is throwing you off, because the normal word for ballistic person to a person of forensic is unsealed. It was open. That's me who can write that. Not people
a ballistic
who work in that
laboratory
profession. Yes.
person. They would be like it was unsealed. There's so many strange things that have been happening with this firearm. There's a lot of strange things.
The case was done. Whether it was done not even in 2010, the gun was supposed to be destroyed when? 2017.
2017.
Yes, the case was done 2020. That gun was no longer useful at the time.
It was waiting to be forfeited and destroyed.
For all you know, it could have been, when you open the register, it could have been, it is written there that it needs to be destroyed.
And Mjali spoke something about they can wait up to 3 years. So it was very close to being destroyed. That's what Mjali is even emphasizing on his testimony.
That I couldn't be sitting here.
I couldn't be sitting here. That this gun it's been 3 years, 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020. So 3 years had already passed. This gun was already going to ashes. So how?
This is where
Masondo has a lot of explanations.
This is where I as much as I take away from Mshololo asking certain questions, I gave Mshololo this one because he revisited a question that now was asked by Mnis. If you remember, at the issue of open and closed, it was left like that. If it left that impression of indeed this was open. Do you understand? Which obviously favors the defense. And then Mshololo asking that question again, he got a different answer because he was probing more on the nitty-gritties. So he got a different answer. No. Every time that you take an exhibit, you bring it back on a new forensic bag with a new forensic number, sealed. So either way, if you left that question open like Nisi asked it, and which proves the story of who's this guy who said it was open, it was gonna be okay. But because he probes on such questions, more so he likes to, what I've noticed about her, she likes to ask questions that were asked by Nisi most of the time.
Because he's on the money.
She repeats those questions, and normally the answer would now and then change. It's good sometimes it's not good. It takes
like
away from the work that Mnisi has done.
Yeah. But yeah, he left it hanging like that, and I was like, oh my God, the statements are not statementing. They are not singing a similar tune. I mean, what is going on? And then Mnisi concluded his cross-examination. Advocate Nxumalo had no questions for the witness. I feel like he got most of what he needed.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Very fair, man. Very fair.
Was free. There's no reason to exhaust him. Free as a bird. So Advocate Mshololo started by asking Mjali on the measures he has in place to ensure exhibits are not tampered with. And Mjali said, firstly, that is why there was a necessity to manufacture exhibit bags which have to be sealed. And once sealed, you can't unseal them with your own hands. Members should always be reminded about the evidence and that the evidence should not be tampered with. Mshololo asked, in the exhibit you have testified on, were those procedures followed? And Mjali said yes, but as it was pointed out in this regard, there were discrepancies, procedures that have not been followed. Mshololo asked, you testified that the ballistics wouldn't accept an unsealed bag. Mjali said yes. Mshololo said, but the one Mangena brought was accepted. Mjali said, I don't know. Mangena must come and explain that. And Mjali said, when he handed the exhibit to Mangena, it was in a sealed bag, and that Mangena must come and explain what he means that he received it in an unsealed bag.
Then they ask a question that I wish they could have asked from the beginning of, after using exhibits, maybe to ballistic, and do they unseal it again with a new evidence bag, because it gets destroyed. But at least then we got that question, even though it was a bit late.
Mshololo then asked, nowhere in your statement where you say Mangena took out exhibits in the bag that was opened. And Mjali said yes. Mshololo said he was able to take it from you. And Mjali said yes. Do you agree it was open? And Mjali said he disagrees. From the CSC to the exhibit store, the exhibit is sealed. So when an investigative officer takes it from the exhibit store, he gets it sealed, and it must go to the ballistics sealed. Ballistics won't accept it unsealed. But when it gets to ballistics, they unseal it to examine it. But when they return it, they put it in an exhibit bag and seal it again. So Mjali said the firearm was on the 10th of February 2015, booked out by Masondo and returned on the 25th of February 2015 by Dlamini. And like it remained there for 5 years before Mangena came to pick it up.
Here's the question that I would like to ask Mangena. And it's very crucial, I'll tell you why. This question will tell us the truth without hustling.
Okay, I'm listening.
How many times did the ballistic people test that gun? The first one, obviously, on the list, because there is a list now of that gun. Obviously, there's history of that gun in the ballistic department. Would be when it was tested, when it came in by the Cleveland case. And then the second one would be the Cleveland case. And he must give that answer with the case number he was testing for. And so this gun, according to my calculation and everything else, is that this gun was only tested for Cleveland case, even in 2020. Because if it says something else, then that would mean that Masondo lied. Is it Masondo? Mangena. That would mean that Mangena lied, took the gun under a false pretense of testing it for Cleveland case. He tested it for something else.
He lied by taking it for Cleveland to go and test it.
Meaning that there could have been a targeting of that gun already.
You wish.
And why did he come back with Brigadier Kinindi?
On the same day.
Was it because they were testing it with Brigadier Kinindi?
Charlie time to process what was happening. In 5 minutes, it was gone. 5 minutes, he said it was on his table and it left. On the same day, so much so that he even forgot to write the statement. That's how fast it left. Oh my goodness. So Mshololo said, and we have no evidence that for the duration of 5 years, it was in a sealed bag. And Mjali said no comment because he was not there at the time. Mshololo then said, I get that, but your evidence is that the exhibit should be tagged and sealed. And Mjali said yes. Even on him not being there, he mentioned something about he had taken a break from the SAPS in general. I've heard many people who work for the police do that. They work and then they take a break and then they come back. So I find it very refreshing. Because I feel like working for the SAPS is a lot of stress. So I was like, yo, you've actually done that. Interesting. So Mshololo then said, now there's no evidence that this evidence was kept in a sealed exhibit bag. And Mjali said, in that way, I would agree. Mshololo then said, and you would have a register showing who the investigative officers of the particular case is. And Mjali said, no, at SAP 13, they don't have information on who is investigating which case. So Mshololo then asked, Gininda knew when he picked the firearm up that it was linked to the Vosloorus case. And Mjali said, no, he will come and explain. And Mshololo asked, but you didn't ask him why he needed it. Mjali said he had already said he was investigating the Vosloorus case. And the court adjourned for lunch.
Then the question for Ginindi would be that, did you check this for ballistic? Did you take it for ballistic checkings? And
how did you do it?
And how did you do it?
Where's the paper trail?
Where's the paper trail of that? Who did it for you in the ballistic department?
We want paper trail of you asking for it and then having it checked out and then finally saying it's for Vosloorus case because your investigation has confirmed that. Then Mshololo asked, you said when a person books out an exhibit, they would introduce themselves. Did Mangena do so? And Mjali said he didn't say which office he was working for and introduced himself as Lieutenant Colonel Mangena. So this is very interesting. I feel like they need to add that from now on. Like when you come and fetch an exhibit, they must also like add what department, what police station, who are you? Don't you think they should?
Yeah, we must fill a proper form.
Full details, because this thing of member, clearly it's creating problems.
Confusion. Because everyone is lieutenant, everyone is warrant officer.
Everyone is colonel, everyone is brigadier, everyone can just come and claim an exhibit just because of a title and life goes on. So I feel like they should really work on that. So Mshololo then asked, based on your experience, have you ever had a case where you are approached by ballistics to book out exhibits and bring it back to you? And Mjali said no, he only heard today in court that Mangena was from ballistics. Imagine.
Blindsided.
Imagine.
No reason to just drop the mic.
You only hear in court that this person
undermining
is from the
work
of the ballistics.
Undermining the work that you dearly love, because by the manner in which you explain your work, packing it down, nitty-gritties of what is what, it shows love of your work and the respect you give to your work.
Mjali said Mangena never said from which office he was from, but had shown him his ID, police ID card. So Mshololo asked, if Masondo says they retrieved the serial number and you say it wasn't, it means we are talking about two different firearms. And Mjali said, we are talking about the same gun. In this case, it was not revealed, and maybe it was revealed in Masondo's other cases. And Mshololo asked, did you not say if the serial number is revealed, the gun is then taken to the owner? And Mjali said yes. Mshololo asked, and if the serial number is not retrieved, it is then ordered for destruction? And Mjali said yes. Mshololo then asked, Masondo's gun would have a different order if the serial number was retrieved. And Mjali said that would mean that the gun Masondo is talking about would have its different SAP 13 number.
Again, affirming that indeed there was no serial number.
Mshololo then asked, that's why I'm saying 2 different firearms. And Mjali said, I'm talking about this one reflected here on SAP 1386. The one that Masondo is talking about, I have no knowledge of. And Mshololo said, no pictures were taken to show in what condition it was when it was taken by Gininda. This reminded me of your question yesterday, Mr. Anonymous, when you say, what if you break apart the weapon and you put different parts? I mean,
coincidence.
Then Mjali said, no, there are no such pictures. And Mjali said, I asked Gininda why he was taking it. And the truth is that guns do get lost. There is an officer who took his life because there were 150 guns that were unaccounted for. You imagine.
And they are probably doing Lord knows what outside.
I feel sorry for this police officer. Yo, they dribbled him. They dribbled him.
That shows there's no membership. There's no member there. I hear people talking
And
about
it's
members.
such
There's
a
no
cruel
member there.
thing that they
The only person who's a member is the person who's got your back when you guys are outside looking for thugs. That's the only time you've got each other. Now, even though that is the case, you still need to have your 4 eyes.
4 eyes at the back of your head. That's why he was expressing frustration that I still have the keys, even though I've been here for 4 days. He could key a storeroom. Let's a storeroom. I'm sure he doesn't sleep at night.
He sleep with the key in his.
That storeroom, he doesn't sleep. I'm very sure that,
he puts the belt and the key on his waist.
Yeah, or he wraps it around somewhere in his body. He doesn't just go to sleep. That key is very, very important. So that's why he said, that's why I felt it made sense that he took it for safekeeping. Then Mshololo concluded the re-examination, and Baloyi now started with the re-examining. While Mshololo finished with the cross-examination, the state re-examined.
Where he said it is normal. Is it normal for a ballistic person? He also repeated that question. Said no. This is where he explained that it's only happening twice now under his watch. It's not a normal thing. Also, today I knew it was a ballistic. This is the second. Okay, yes, there was no serial number. Again, he said there was no serial number. He kept on saying that,
Yes.
and I like the consistency in this.
So Baloyi asked about the forensic bags. How do they look like? And Jali said they are transparent. And Baloyi said, you said Mangena is the only one who can explain his statement in which he said the forensic bag was open. And Mjali said, yes, he can come and explain what he meant. Baloyi then said, there's no evidence that there was an exchange of firearms. And Mjali said, I don't have the evidence to that effect. And Baloyi asked, every single aspect of the firearm would be documented. And Mjali said, yes. So before he could leave, the judge also had his own questions. He asked, don't you find it very peculiar that the item, he even mentioned the items, had ammunition
Item
of 12,
3.1.
Yes, of 12 bullets. Are you with me? And then Mchali actually corrected him and said it wasn't 12 bullets, actually 28. So yes, the judge said 28, that number. You are being told that the Luka is common in South Africa. When they come with 28 or 30 bullets or 1 bullet. What's your experience? And Mchali said R5 magazine, ifaga 15. Right, magazine ifaga 15.
16 shot.
Yeah, 16 shot, and then perhaps
15,
if there are extras, the extras that are found, maybe that's why it explains there are many. So it could have been for 2. Is it 2 of the, what do they call the thing where they put the bullets in?
Magazine.
Yes. So it could have been 2 of them.
Yeah.
So you said you found the judge's question strange. What
he was insinuating there, it sounded like he's saying that this person takes a gun out, brings it back with 24 ammunition and magazines. So the question was sort of disputing to say that there is no way then it could be any other gun other than the one they took out, because it still comes back with the same ammunition. That's basically was the reasoning behind that question.
There are many of those type of firearms in this country.
The objection here that I would have stood and I would have said, my lord, does that now mean that the gun can never be changed if it comes back with 24 bullets that it left with? Is that your question? If I get you correct, my lord, are you saying that it should not? Therefore, if there is a gun, a dark gun that left the forensic or let's say the forensic ballistic lab, and then it comes back with the same number of bullets, does it mean that it has not changed, or it will never change, or someone cannot change that and bring the same color, which actually fits the same bullet, and that is the case? It's not like the gun is unique.
Yesterday we even got into how you trace where a bullet and a gun has it can only be traced after it's worked. So for him to use even bullets that have not yet worked,
in a sense, it was
very confusing for me as a judge, because
even the same bullets, you can change them.
It's before they have been used. That's how they found them. They didn't find them used. So you're trying to paint the picture as if the bullets were found used to connect to that firearm.
Do you understand?
Which means that even the ones that were used in the Mshololo's case were matching the ones that were found in the clip. It didn't make sense.
I still question people who find this guy, who find this guy's IQ.
Where were you going?
I
don't get it.
I don't understand. They are saying, the judges, and I'm asking, but if really you are in court, you ask that question, maybe if I was against you, I would not accept that, because the narrative that you are pushing is actually unfounded too. You are saying that because it comes back with 4, or if it left the house with 4 bullets, comes back, it's still therefore it's the same thing. Or maybe
he was trying to say the 2 that were missing are the ones that worked, because they found 28 with the Cleveland. what was happening? Or maybe he was trying to say the 2 that have been used worked at the Mshololo's house.
I don't get
I didn't get where he was going. Maybe somebody understands.
But what I know is that it was debunking that theory, because even he's got jabs. Because of that, he gave it away by saying that they say the gun could have been changed.
You are being told here that the Luca is common in South Africa. I'm like, that is shady.
And that shady is giving away what you are trying to do, actually. Because once you put that and you ask that question that, this is a laptop, it's a MacBook, the specs are still the same. But what matters is what is inside. Is it still the same serial number and all those things? And that was not proven. So, and it is never registered down there to say this is the serial number. And in this case, there was no serial number when it left. When it came back, we are told there's a serial number, right?
Yes.
So why shouldn't we question that?
Was booked for the first
why isn't the judge looking at that
in the same day?
Why isn't the judge saying that? Did you, Mjali, not find it very disturbing that after so many years of staying with this gun, all of a sudden we are told now today that it finally got the serial number without rewriting, as you say, that before it got destroyed, it gets destroyed if there's no number, you give it a name.
Yes.
So did you find that normal? Is this something that happens sometimes?
I was expecting him to go there, and for some reason I was so underwhelmed.
Now this
I'm not an expert, but so far what I've heard is you can't link a bullet that has not yet worked to anything. You need to link a bullet that has worked to a firearm that it comes from. Right? So what was the point of all of these questions?
Is it normal? Maybe that's a question that they left. Is it normal that a gun will actually finish the whole case while this person was arrested for, and the person goes down, and then later that gun, when the case was finished, it didn't have a serial number. It comes back with a serial number.
Now it comes back with a serial number for a new case. Is
it normal for you?
Is it normal? Have you seen anything?
Have you seen something like that?
Hi guys, you can call in.
Yeah, you can call in.
The lines are now open. We are done deliberating. We are done peperezing. You can now pepereza. How many likes do we have?
It's 300 last time I checked. Let me check again. Yeah, we're still on 300. They don't want to like today.
So today people don't want to press the like button.
Yeah, so I'm gonna close it. I'm gonna take two people.
Let's just open the lines for 2 people because it would be unfair to punish everyone. But we're closing them early today because y'all don't want to press the like button. Why don't you want to press the like button?
They're not fair.
You guys are not fair. You're not fair, okay? We work here. We deliberate.
Zanzielo?
Hey, Mr. Anonymous, how are you?
I'm good. Did you press the like?
Yes, I did. I was the first one today.
Okay, good.
Hey, Emily, how are you?
I'm good. And yourself?
I'm okay. I saw the judge what was trying to do, but they won't win. Because you remember when the time was asking the ballistic guys.
Yes.
Mosia.
Yes.
Mosia, when they get a blood on the ground, they take a picture. They put it in the forensic bag. They put a picture. They see it. They put a picture. So, give a serial number there. When they go and say and record it somewhere, it goes with a serial number. Then it went to this guy, the one that was testifying today, with that number. So, but here we no longer have the chain of evidence because when it's booked out, they don't take a picture because it's left with this real. So that when they get to the ballistic, they present the photo and the ballistic bag so that it can match for it. That which we took that side is what we are bringing here. Because in person, you can take the gun and throw it away in the river. When you arrive at the ballistic, you produce another gun inside another thing. Because there is no movement, there is no chain of pictures that will show that the gun that was received to go ballistic is the very same guy that is the very same gun that left the storehouse. And that was proved today. You take it, you go, and you bring it back with a different number. So meaning, you can take it and bring another gun that is different from that. So for the fact that there are no pictures that are forming that chain, then it makes it easy for the gun to be swapped, to be exchanged. And that was proven. And Mshololo, she proved it. I like that question that she kept on asking. She proved it because indeed the gun can be swapped because no record anywhere, no pictures that is being taken. And that the police, they work with pictures. Even when they go for a meeting, they show pictures. For anything they do, there is a picture as an evidence that something happened. So this time around, when the guns are moving from the storage to ballistic, there are no evidence.
No, I hear you.
What? Yes, that's why I found it difficult. So it was proven. The judge can try all he likes. Even the bullets that were 28, you can bring another 28 bullets. Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. I'm happy.
Thank you.
The case has been won. I so wish they can apply for that. It's other section, man. Whatever section that need to be applied. But I'm worried, as I'm celebrating for these guys, especially the one that has got the criminal report. But I'm worried about the sense of image. because this case is destroying a 375. Because I don't see them coming back to say they're arresting Kelly and the others, because the state is convinced that there is a mastermind. So they cannot come at a later stage and say we're arresting Kelly for what? Because there is a mastermind. And then now it is the state that messed up the evidence that they had that was gonna lead the 5 suspects or whoever that killed them. So it can't be those ones in the house. Or those ones in the house, they given them the lead to get the gun. It's just that the state couldn't save the gun. So I don't see Senzo getting that.
No, yeah, cool, man.
Thank you.
Zanzi, hello.
Hey, Mr. Hello, how are you?
Good, sir, how are you?
It's okay. No, I'm
Not a problem.
Yes, we are feeling.
Ngiyaphila. Go for it.
Okay. No, mina i-occupation yami ngiyiphara. Ngifisa ukunikeza vision encane.
Okay.
We were once called Kawi. Right. In fact, what was Uganishot to some of the guys. And when you get there, if you're going to police station, I more than 80. Right. So the Scottish figure, but we don't have the right to pass the station and to start, but a few okay, right, then the young about the show. Elebate bus one would station in the Gashinja study patient so wait. Okay, right. Yeah, okay, right. It's clean the game, club station is planning the safety. My sigile at angeneke ngaphakathi bamcheck okay right ke then bese basinikeza access yokwazi then mangabe sesingenile siyafika ke nasiyamchecka then fanele document every wound ekuyena we patient report for me okay right sikwenze lokho then masifika kuyena sifika esandleni bambambe isibhamu esincane nje yenze umsebenzi othile. So much as we deliver the Apuma, the Kuluman and Mundo, I like to get them. We are a set your board on what can I get some carbon.
Yes.
Big up the band, you right.
Yeah. I'm not. Seban is the rifle.
Seban is the rifle, but you can't see that in Bobet from a kind of then no matter we always still your carbon. If it's a uvezi vision, then you babukene in the Wutike. The thing is in Tabazenzile, Kudeki, guessing as us, but one of us, but everything we say la is alleged.
Saying thank you. So what the caller was saying is that I think he works with
in
the SAPS, so he works with people that deal with dead body or something like that. Forensic side. So they marked the wound of the bullets. At the time when they got in, it was a small gun in his hand. And then they were taken out for what reason, I don't remember what he said there.
Yes,
and then
when
they came back, the gun had grew.
It was a rifle.
It was older now, it was a rifle. That's what the caller was saying. And thank you for that insight. So what he's literally saying is that it is possible for these people to change the narrative and the story in a sense of how you guys view it afterwards. And that took how many? Couple of minutes. So look at the hours that the Spaza shop had before the calling of these forensic people and whatnot. And the time it took to actually capture all this information. So there's even more than enough time for you, considering that maybe the uncle could be a forensic expert himself. And there are a lot of things, allegedly.
That freaked me out. And on top of everything, the bullet that took Senzo's life, we are still waiting on a testimony as to what happened with it.
Exactly.
Waiting.
We are still to be guided. Mzanzi, hello? Mzansi, hello. Mzansi, hello.
Mzansi, hi.
Try to call us again.
Please try to call us again.
Let me see. The likes are still on 400. Can we have that 500, please?
Yeah, when we're live, we always aim for 500, guys. Press the like
We aim
button.
more than that, actually. We aim for more than that.
We aim for
Mzansi,
more than
hello.
that. Right now, it's 2,000.
Mzansi, hello.
You can
Hello.
push it.
I say, how are you?
Yebo ninjani Mr. Anonymous. No
Zikhona.
Emily.
Hi.
Zikhona.
Ayisaphila.
Yeah.
Yebo. Yazi Mr. Anonymous.
Mm.
Lamaphoyisa ayawanda mina investigator kanjani ngoba phela manje ibhamu njengoba kuthiwa kulekhulunywa nge9 mm kukhulunywa nge38 yazi le ibhamu zinama grooves khona into ekuthiwa ama grooves esibhanyini ibhamu mesidubulile like njengoba manje bathatha ilento bathi labafana ile 9 mm atholakala lo mfana yadubula bathi laba babe khona kwisini bathi kwakuyi38 i38 ama-grooves e38 nawe 9 mm ayahlukana yabo so kunzima into engiyibona ukuthi bazamukela bafuna ngawonke amaminzi ukuthi bafake labantu laba aba-innocent phakathi kuthi laba lo owenza okubi kube uyena ozosala ngaphandle yabo
Yes.
manje enye into ebifika ingxaki kule case ulento ufika ikhiphe ulo mfana ka-Chico Twala ayikhiphe kwisini athi wabaleka kuzosuka ulento uzandathwa ngene etoilet athi ulo umthokozisi wajampela ngaleka wabaleka athi lo munye uTumelo Madlalo wangena lento ekamereni kuthi manje uSenzo esele esele nabantu abawu2 manje uma kaKheli noKheli manje angisazi ukuthi ya odubulile kahle kahle ngoba phela nale suspect okuthiwa yayikhona endlini uma yabo lento ine confusion eningi kahle kahle ngoba mina ngibona ukuthi ama suspect ukuthi kufanele kwazi uKheli noma wakhe okuyibona abasala nomuntu no deceased yabo ibona bobabili abasala no deceased endlini so labo bantu kufanele bazi ukuthi kwenzakalani ku deceased ngoba laba abanye bayikhiphile uZandile wangena etoilet uTumelo wangena ekamereni umthokozisi lo Twala waphuma wajampela ngale next door yabo so kuthi abantu manje abasele noSenzo nesuspect kuthi ba2 uKheli noma wakhe ziyenzeka lezo nto uthi phakathi kwabo ukhona owacommita imurder yabo between the two so manje laba sebeleke bekhuluma le story bekhuluma istory eziningi ebhekele nale and leyo uma engathiwa ngempela akucheckwe le bullet yadubula uSenzo zothi akuyona 9 mm 9 mm edine38 they are different kuma grooves khona into ekuthiwa ama grooves la phakathi kwi-chamber yabo umudubula yabo so manje ngiyabona ukuthi i-state izama ukuthi sishonise labafana phansi and these boys are innocent ngempela ngoba lesibhamu lesokuthiwa batholaka naso asilinki indawo akukho la kuthiwa silinkeka khona senzani yabo bekuwuvo lwami nje dolo Emily noma Anonymous
Siyabonga kakhulu.
Siyabonga.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. Emily, do you want to take that? Explain that?
Wait, he's saying the grooves of a 9 mm are different to that of a 38 special.
Yes.
So you'd find that the bullet that took Senzo's life may not even be a 9 mm special, allegedly. And what else did he say? That it's interesting how everybody took themselves out of the scene. You've got Miss Popola Lorraine saying that she was in the toilet. You've got Mtogo saying that he jumped the wall and he ran out of the gate, jumped the wall of the neighbors and went to the neighbors. You've got Tumelo saying he was locked in a bedroom. And the only two people that were left with the deceased was Kelly and her mother and the intruders. They are the only ones who were left with the deceased and the intruders. And that was basically it. What else did I forget?
Yeah, that's it, I think. And everything said here is alleged. If we forget, know that.
And he mentioned also something about because the grooves of the 9mm are different to that of the 38 special. I don't know whether he said anything about it having an impact on the kind of wound.
Yeah, there is someone on WhatsApp saying that by the end of this case, a lot of people must be charged with perjury.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And that's a theory that Tifo was actually pushing. Perjury. Yes.
You have the boldness to put your hand and make an oath before you testify.
And then the other thing is defeating the end of justice.
Interfering with the document.
Every day, actually. So yeah. Hello.
Hi. You almost had everything.
Sorry, just my boyfriend was asking if I'm calling. Then I said no, it's a short. Yes, I'm always following. So, hi guys, how are you?
We're good. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. Please remind me, the guy that was in the court today is Mtali.
Yes.
Yes.
Mtali.
Yes.
But uma ngabe ubheka Mtali, my point of view, he was being honest. And he didn't want to say direct that. He knows that something happened. But amalawyer makuthi abe smart kumele abone ukuthi kahle kahle this guy is a fighting lab. He's aware that something happened. Just that he cannot say it because I don't know if you miss what do you know the story? What is usho in Zulu? Khuluma ngeZulu khona ayishilo but meaning ukuthi uyalazi ukuthi I won't comment. Yes, I'm not so sure if you guys are.
Yes, he did say something like that.
So,
I will not be commenting.
Yes. So, uyazi ukuthi yes, family calling that by incident ngaso futhi uyazi ukuthi artist number 3 has nothing to do with this case. Manje umnisi indlela aqhamuke ngayo I didn't really like it. But mase esho eseqhubeka ngimundstandile but indlela abeseqala ngayo bese ngibona ukuthi okay now the dude want to attack the wrong person. But ke mase eyisho indaba yakhe ngabona ukuthi umnisi ikuphi la yakhona. Uma ngathi ubheke la umnisi okay ngiyambona Mshololo ngiyambona Nxumalo ngiyambona ubani Ramasipil something.
Yes.
But yes, umnisi he's very smart. Just as sometimes akafuna ukusebenzisa indlela right, he more becoming that therefore. But other than that, he's very smart. Very, very smart. He's very, very smart. He is very, very smart. Nxumalo challenge judge mase eba down. That's a problem in Nxumalo. Once he judge lasho something, trust me, Nxumalo, my Lord has no further questions.
He should stop.
Yes, that's a problem in Nxumalo. Yes.
He needs to stop.
He can't continue to stand his ground and say, no, that's what I'm saying. I think it was a day before yesterday, Mshololo, when he speaks, sometimes he speaks very loud. He just laughs, you are shouting.
She was emphasizing.
She was shouting, but now she wanted to correct herself immediately and say, my Lord, I'm sorry to speak loud.
She's emphasizing. How?
Yes. But I like what Baloyi is doing this day. Baloyi, trust me, he understands that he's losing the case. And uma ubheka akasa objective isikhathi esiningi uyathula.
Hi today.
He's not like uyakhumbula ukuthi the people was very excited. Kwasafika obani Majala guy.
Yes. No
African land. Yes. Had excited more smile absent back. Not smile anymore.
Yeah.
No smile anymore. I can say so far only 2 people have told us the truth. Only 2 people. From these millions of women in state, only 2 people are in Russia and in Charlie. Only 2. The rest they lie. There are more lies still coming.
I hear you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. So now we, okay. Guys, I want to say something before I go. There's this one day I called. I was very offended, I must say.
Okay.
I think I said something. I don't know if the rules have changed or something, but you guys said, okay, 2 minutes. I think I spoke more than 2 minutes. And then you guys just hang out while I was still talking. I was like, what the heck? But I said, okay, let me just not take it personal. Let me
don't take it
continue to follow
personal.
the show.
Please don't take it personal. It was a rule we had back then. And at the time, people were asking for it. You understand?
Okay.
Now we gave you a chance. I hope you're happy.
I'm very happy.
I hope we've
I'm
made
very
up
happy
for it.
yes, you guys said. You guys in Joburg or Durban?
Oh, we are everywhere.
You cannot disclose.
We don't want to disclose, child. We don't want to disclose because we are afraid.
Okay, understood. No, it's okay. I understand.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much, guys.
Cool. Yeah, so, right. So, yeah, we sometimes in Joburg, sometimes in Durban.
Hey, but I don't like giving away location because I don't know.
Yeah, right. Location is not a. Is it possible for Baloyi to be charged too? His way of bringing. He's
doing his job.
He's doing his job.
He's doing his job.
Mzansi, hello.
Asaz.
Hello,
It's good. How are you?
Now the police.
Yes.
Hello.
Yeah, all right, guys. The normal one. You know, people are so interested with this channel. Even I think we were asking how to tune into this TV show, because with all these lot of shows everywhere on YouTube that are trying to paraphrase what you need and then that you guys are doing it well. I feel like even if we miss something on the high, and then you guys making it more clear for us. Nevertheless, let me get to the point. I just want to say these two short points. Like, if you listen to this guy, Mshololo, I'm sure Mshololo is in box, right?
Yes.
I want you guys to look at this. Listen to that guy when he said, he mentioned he's trying to cover that he mean that there is that he gave the country. But remember, because he was asked that, don't you think, he was asked by Mshololo, don't you think that the SAP 13 of the gun that you gave it was still under you, regardless of the fact that you gave it out the gun?
Yes.
Remember that?
Yes.
And that guy made an excuse, which I laughed when Mr. Herman said that, even you and say that same to that this guy who lost, they were, I think, 100 and something guns that were put into him so that he committed suicide. Allegedly, there is no such a thing. There is no such a thing. He's covering the fact that he gave it out, the gun, to a member. Remember, I'm not talking about police, I'm talking about a member. A member who's going to keep the gun, which is already been safe, keep it already in the SAP 13. SAP 13 is the best where it's supposed to be kept. You cannot run away and make an excuse that, because now he's making an excuse that the reason of I give it out, that gun, is because that member, remember, he says he was a colonel, that is that guy who took that testimony. And now he was a poor warrant. He laughed even in Mshololo. He was a poor warrant.
He said he was a poor
So
warrant.
he was, you see, and everyone was laughing. Now, I'm not sure whether you get my point. My point is here is that it's a lame excuse to say, I give it out because I was running away of also committing a suicide myself. That because when you are being a safety member, there's a safe there where you keep the what you call, and you can't say that I make a mistake. I can destroy a gun which is not supposed to be destroyed. before you destroy each and every gun, you read the instructions. So there should be Ugeninda could have came and say that please, gun number so and so, especially Aganayo the vehicle. Don't destroy because remember he said that gun was under the 500 guns that's supposed to be destroyed. Guys, I want to tell you something. I just want to leave this part. But the major thing here that the state is trying to balance because of the blinder which is being exposed by this trial that SAPS is failing because now when this gun was coming from the ballistic where it was checked, it was already changed now the what you call the seal because it has to be broken there and then analyzed and then it comes back with another seal which is the one that Mshololo and was asking that did you take the picture of that seal? That is where they got an advantage because you give it that person with a seal that comes from the ballistic, which is not in the records of SAPS because he couldn't write it on the statement, the new seal that is coming with the gun, he couldn't even register on the 13th. Then that guy who left with the gun, which is Belinda, had a plenty of time to do whatever. He can take another because remember he's a member. He has got steel bags as well. He could have taken another steel bag. No one is going to ask him that why is it changed because himself too he doesn't know the what was the steel number now that came from the ballistic which is written on that steel bag. So there is no way that steel bag has been registered on the 13th. So that is where now there is got a power to argue the party today. And remember this, lastly, remember this, the judge jumped with something that I couldn't even understand, saying that if the gun came back with the same ammunition, which is the magazine with the bullet. You see, maybe if you've got a 9mm, I've got a 9mm, then if ever you lost the 9mm and there's an inspection, you will say, hey, please borrow me your what you call this, that you put it on the what you call magazine, borrow me your magazine. So that I can summary. No one is going to check about what this magazine does it match with the other because the magazine has got a unique number also. So that gun was about to destroy you. No one would check. You can destroy any gun, you see. But the one that you wanted to use it to frame someone, you've already taken allegedly. Or do something allegedly. I'm not sure whether you guys said.
Okay. Yeah, we are following.
We're following you.
Sure.
Yeah.
Here's the solution.
But nevertheless, whatever they do now, they cannot change the statement of Tumelo Mandala of the will. They cannot change the statement of this guy who the 38 special, which is written on the statement. They cannot change that. And they cannot change the fact that all the people that they collected in evidence said that we could not find the cartridge. Even if this is a 9mm, this 9mm that they're trying to leave it by force, you see, but there was no cartridge to say that it's the person who shot with the third person, I mean the suspect who shot there with the 9mm, supposed to be 3 cartridges there according to the Zandile who says that there were 3 shots. They're supposed to be 3. You see? So the state is losing. I know Upalo has got in that belt managed, but this time he made a mistake. The mistake is to collect a lot of witnesses. He made a mistake. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Here's my submission. There are levels also with this thing of police, you know?
Yeah.
Not only levels of seniority. Also, there are levels of people that you cannot just touch. There are people who are untouchable.
Whether they are a
you must also look at that, at what person is coming, who is coming.
Brigadier.
There are levels in these things, man. Look at the issue of Nandipa Magutumane, for example.
Yeah.
It depends on how you look at it in terms of the person who was investigating.
Yeah.
I will just leave it at that. You can decide to be this strong one and become the odd one then. So
it usually doesn't end well.
Yeah.
For you.
The best you can do is to say, take it. It's with you. It's recorded. I didn't do anything wrong.
Write your statement, Mtagama.
Do you understand? I mean, as much as you are trying, by all means, you can solve the issues that are there in that department on your own. You just do what is necessary.
It was interesting that a warrant officer would give to a canal at the time. Yeah, that already is like, wow.
Okay, this is 1 second that you guys are definitely the host with the most, as you may be aware. There are many Mzansi reality wannabes. Hey.
Whoa.
But Mr. Anonymous and Ems, you really are cut above the rest. Keep it up and well done. Love your show. Love you guys. Thank you. We love you too. Thank you very much. Hey,
that's the first compliment to that.
Yeah, thank you very much for that compliment. No bit, if there's lawsuit and it turns out in the investigation that he knew the whole case was a cover-up, he can be charged. But how do you prove that? Yes, with perjury and defeating the ends of justice and deliberately contravening of the PFMA, I mean Vaseline. Yes, but how do you prove that? From this point of view, my job is to prosecute. I felt that the case is solid.
You can't prosecute wrong people now.
No. But how? They are not wrong. If I feel that they are not wrong.
No, beyond reasonable doubt.
No, you are not a judge. I'm giving evidence. All I do as a prosecutor is to say, yes, I can prosecute on this. Mzansi, hello.
Hey, siyabona njani?
Siyaphila njani?
Nokho. I just want to money too.
Yeah, my
yeah. Hey, the witness this is Mshololo.
Yes.
Uspikile kwi-story sakhe wa-articulate wazwakala and he gave away the case to the defense, ukuthi yonke into and bengafuna uzibophela into angayazi and befika nje ayazi ukuthi bakwenzeke njani. And I think indaba igama now there's a doubt around it. And also if we can follow it kakuhle, even the link now they're trying to create up ayihlangani.
Yes.
Because now indlela athetha ngayo uthi there was no serial number gun. It was cleared out. The one that was in the storage. And it was never said to be belonging to anyone, or it was not recovered, according to him. So also, I think this is going to impact also the case as a claim. Because if now we're going to say that gun came in order to say that it must be destroyed because there's no ownership.
Yes.
And still you convicted someone with the possession of a gun that was the serial number was later recovered, but it does not reflect on the docket.
Yes.
So the docket was closed and that gun had no owner. So it means this revelation today is going to directly affect the case of Cleveland. And because there's no link. There's no serial number in this gun that was in the storage, but they said they recover. So now, when you look into that, it creates a doubt on its own that here we're not dealing with the same gun that was in the storeroom. There is an introduction of a new gun that was introduced during the trial to specifically link this guy from that case and also this other case. So, there is a window period whereby they can even plan those allegedly. They can plan, if if they want to. They can manipulate anything.
Yeah.
And it's a bit odd. Ijaji nabencinga izabuza umbuzo wayo ngohlobo it's a bit odd uba usuke a senior police izothatha ngokwayo the exhibit is under, because that's odd. And this person, remember, I don't know whether he was an elite investigating officer in this case or not.
Yeah,
but
it fell under him because of being of its nature. It was a cold case now, and then that's what he investigate.
Yeah, but then like it's a bit odd. You are putting in the gun that you are returning that was taken, and then on the same day you are taking it out, and you claim that it has a link to a specific case. It's a bit odd for me. It's a bit odd, and they could have done anything they wanted. Also, with Balo is trying to do damage control at the end. The strategy, was the bag, was he referring to the bag being transparent or opaque, I was like, the guy now is trying to give the hint. Well, obviously, they watch this proceeding. Surely, when it comes to testify, he's going to refer to that as that open as being transparent. The bag was transparent, because now he's trying to give the hint, and that won't stand because the guy mentioned that the bag, the exhibit bag was open. Now you cannot dispute that in whatever context. Open means it was open. Yes. That's it. You can never dispute that and try to change it. And I'm glad this guy didn't change his statement. It's the first one throughout. There's no additional statement. There's nothing. He just simply takes his facts as they are. So I think he gave us a good weekend. Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I even heard the judges like, are you interested in being a commissioner? Did you hear?
The guy really outdid himself. Thank you, guys. Please subscribe. Please like the video. Remember, guys, I told you that these guys are just destroyed on paper. Now we are told someone took his life over this gun. I mean the guns. Right. So maybe there is a story like that. Do you know stories like that would never break through, right? They keep them.
But apparently it is high in the SAPS.
Yeah, hence they are even complaining. Remember, even with Makutumana, that guy was being interviewed who said he suffered a serious trauma working as describing the issue of that guy who could have taken, who they allegedly took his, we say allegedly, took his life.
For now,
that's what we're going to say.
We don't have the full facts. But yeah, apparently the self-deleting is very high in the SAPS, and there's not enough psychological treatment or assistance when it comes to our police officers who are exposed to traumatic situations. So some of them, they can't cope, honestly speaking. And it
Zansi,
makes sense.
hello?
Good morning, guys.
Morning.
How are you doing?
Doing great. How are you?
Okay. No, I'm good. I would like to say thank you so much, guys, for this show. We can't sleep before we listen to you. Sometimes we don't call in, just we listen to other people. But the work that you are doing here is great. I believe at some point, the advocates, one way or another, they listen to what you say, because most of the times you've got enough time to research and look at what you can actually what transpired in court, because sometimes they don't even have enough time. So what you do is great. We have to tell you that. And also, I would like to congratulate the advocates. It's not easy to work with a prosecutor like Baloyi, would just surprise them with the witnesses and the order that he brings them in. it shows that even himself, he knows that he doesn't have a case. That's why he just brings the witnesses haphazardly. Like, he just wants to confuse everything. If it was a straightforward case, he would have just brought anyone anyhow. Started with those in the house, finish with them, start with those in ballistics or wherever, and then I believe that if it was just as easy as that, he would just do that. But because he knows that the case doesn't hold water, that's why he is doing that way. But thank you so much, guys. You're doing a great job.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Right. Guys, let's have those likes. I think I took almost everyone, guys, right? Haven't I? Almost everyone. It's time for randomly calling names out. Lindeni Hadebe. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you, guys.
Press that like button.
Thank you so much.
Lindy,
I'm humbled.
Thank you for being with us. Tuli Tools. This one is a regular. Auntie CK Moyo, regular, moderator. Khozo Asanda. Koke. Cyril Ndaba. Tobeka D, regular. Sizwe Mkaka, regular. Phil Shongwe. And we have Asanda Ayabonga. And then Togozi Slanga, regular.
Ntogozisi.
Mosia, they would know Mtogozisi. He writes.
Yeah, Ntogozisi should help me out.
Prosha Matandela and Sandile Mkize, Dorothy Murray, I hope I'm correct there. And then we have Dabenkulu. Those are people. Sia Msia, Lusimbambo. It's Friday, guys. I'm gonna call a bit more. And we have Ingrid, and then
hi Ingrid.
XXS many X's, and then triple X plus triple X. Elizabeth Vuiswa. Okay, and then basically. That will be it. And thank you guys very much. Like the video, share the like video, do whatever you can with that video, as long as it's within the rules and regulations.
You can even share it with people who like the case or who are interested in the case as much as we are. So we don't mind it if you share it. You can share it, guys. It's not a problem at all. The more the merrier.
Norman Jotia, Botswana. Blessing Mabena, and then Florence Mkolisi, our member. And then we have Onati Majeke, our member. And then Denny, also our member. Oscar Gumede. We call you out. Mamela's yes, and then Zane Morris. Let me see, Lufate, and then Sizwe Mkaka again, still here.
Lufate, do you know you're a moderator on the chat?
Is it still Lufate? Yes, he is. He's a moderator.
Do you know that? It's been a while.
And then.
So it's Auntie CK. Auntie CK.
Tobeka D. Chuku Anna, and then Backyard Queen Sa, then we have Elevate Entertainment Music.
Hi, welcome.
It seems like a creator, this one.
Yeah, welcome.
And CK Moyo, our lovely moderator. Tagalani Nelly, love you too. We love you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys.
It's been a long week for us, Mr. Anonymous, and hearing these comments that we're doing a good job, really, they don't go like down the water. We really appreciate them. I'm taking them. It's been a rough week. So I was feeling very, very tired at some point. So thank you guys so much for this humbling experience.
Yeah. And then here's on WhatsApp. Yo, ngoba uyalahla bo baloyi. Anyway, thanks for the show, guys. Love Pam Ndaba, present. Okay, we got you. Oleka.
Oleka.
Mahangana. Yes.
I had to practice, Oleka. Practice.
Mahangana. Yes. Guys, thank you very much. If you are just getting in and you've just catched us now, like the video. That's the order of the day. Just like and join the membership. And then it is nice to actually host for you guys.
Yeah.
And you guys are a lovely, lovely audience. Thank you very much.
Yeah, until we see each other again, it should be Monday. I don't know, but maybe there might be a surprise. I don't know.
Yeah, there might be a surprise. Thank you. It's a bye from us.